are you doing? Today, I want to answer a question that has been asked in a few different ways. And the reason sometimes I answer these questions here is because this is a bigger platform. I just don't want to answer to one individual and then that's it. Because I'm sure a lot of other people might have the same issue or might be struggling with the same question or not knowing how to go about it. This is a question of wanting to stand in your truth, wanting to communicate, but you're also worried about how the other person will respond. For example, if you want to ask for a pay rise at work, or you want to ask for a promotion at work, but you're so worried about how your boss is going to respond. So you choose, so because you automatically think, I don't want them to ignore me, I don't want them to start saying what. So you'd rather just sit there in dissatisfaction than go for what you want. This is also for people who say they're scared of even saying something, even in a WhatsApp group, because I don't know if people will like my comment. I don't know if people will respond to my question. I don't know how people will react. This is for people who their truth and what they want to say is mostly dependent on the other person's response. And that is the wrong way to go about it. So the topic is how to do your part and how to give up control, because the reason we do that is because I can only communicate when I'm sure of the response. You will never be sure because you're not the one who's responding, right? If you're new to my YouTube channel, my name is Muthoni Mukiru-Njoroge. I am a mindset coach and a personal development coach. Welcome home. We're all about emotional and mental wellness. This is home. And we're here for one another. I'm a practicing coach and I write my contacts down here, my email address, in case you want to reach out with an issue or in case you want to hop on to one of my packages. So if you want to ask for a raise from work, you'd rather not because you don't know how your boss is going to respond. You don't know what he's going to say. Well, you will never know. But I want to talk about doing your part, standing in your truth regardless of what the response could be. And that fear of you don't know how the other person is going to respond is what sometimes puts us in situations where we are so unsatisfied, where we are not getting our needs met because we're scared of speaking up in case the other person does not agree with what we're saying or has a different opinion. And it's totally okay actually to have a different opinion, yeah? How can you just how can you just know you can only control yourself? You have no control of this other person. And how to stand in your truth and how to stand in what you believe in and how to say what's in your heart without worrying about the other person so much. If you want to ask for a pay rise, the most important thing you need to do is to know why you're asking for it, why you deserve it. Probably you've improved your skills. Probably when you joined, probably you had a diploma, now you have a degree. Maybe you're working longer hours. Maybe you have been more productive and you've brought in more sales to your company, or you have more workload. It's just knowing. And so long as you go to that person respectfully, and knowing why you're going to ask for why you're going to ask, for what you're going to ask, knowing the why, then you don't have to worry about how they're going to respond. So long as you know it's a valid request, so long as you're respectful, so long as you're mature about it and you've left your tears at home, yeah, the boardroom is not a place for tears and the workplace is not a place where you address issues crying. It's not, yeah? So long as you're doing that, you don't have to worry about, if he says no, you can always look for another job. You can always wait for another opportunity. You can always think about what to do next. It's better to get a no after you've asked than to stay in a situation where your needs are never met, where you keep wondering what if. Because when in that situation of dissatisfaction, the answer is already, as in, you're still not living the way you want to. The answer is clearly already no. But when you ask, you have already done your part. You've made yourself proud. Always focus on that. Also, what if you ask and you get your raise? What if you ask and he even transfers you to a better department? Yeah, and ask if they are not willing even to honor your hard work, to honor, they don't even recognize the skills you brought into that company, the money you're bringing. They don't recognize the work you're doing. Probably you shouldn't be working there. Probably you need to work somewhere else where you will be more appreciated. Yeah. So for you who always wonder what's the other person gonna say, you will never know unless you have the power to infiltrate or to go into their brain and to know what they're gonna say. You will never know. However, your job is to yourself first, not to that person to start wondering na akisema akisema. Your job is to make yourself proud, is to stand in your truth, is to speak your mind. Own your space in this world. And for people like for those who say, even in family gatherings, I don't want to say anything because I don't know what they're gonna say. I'm in a WhatsApp group and I don't want to comment because I don't know how people are gonna respond. Please own your space in this world. You do realize you have your space just for you. I have my space just for Modoni. And I will not let anybody make me feel like I don't have space or like I don't have a voice or like, do your part and leave the rest. There's this thing I read, and it spoke about how you need to focus on the possibilities. What is impossible is not on you. The impossibilities is not on you. Focus on what is possible. Focus on doing your part. Focus on standing up for yourself. If it's in a relationship, it's easy to think, I don't want to ask him for help because I don't want him to think I am after money. Or I don't want to ask him if he can blah, 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 help me with this and this because I don't want to ask them. Do your part. Don't censor yourself on your own. Don't tell yourself no on someone else's behalf, because that's what we're usually doing. And it's also something called you self-reject yourself. You reject yourself before the other person tells you no. How do you know they're gonna say no? And sometimes their no is what we need. We need that no. Yeah? I said, and I keep talking about fear. You conquer your fears by facing them. You feel the fear and you do it anyway. And don't focus so much on the response. Focus on you saying what's in your heart and standing in your truth. That whatever they're going to say, you have no control over. What you have control over is who? Yourself, your emotions, and what you say. How you react. You have 100% control over that. And let nobody come to brainstorm you, to brainwash you. Let no one come to wash you with that thing of, I reacted like this because you behaved like this. Everybody has pure control, full control of how they react. And how you react should not be dependent on how this other person has acted. It's very independent. We just like to tag them along. I reacted like this because this is how you had acted. Yeah, they're purely two independent things. Reaction, action, and reaction. Yeah, sometimes we say, I think in science or whatever, for every action there's a reaction. Things are different. Everything is not science. Yeah, so do your part. Don't worry about what they're gonna say or what not they're gonna say. So long as you're standing in your truth, so long as you're representing who you are. So when will your voice be heard? When will you represent yourself? When will you stand up for yourself? When will we know what you believe? When will you say, this is what I want? When will you? Ama wewe ni wale wa kufinyiliwa, or you're just those people who are always in victimhood situation. You're always being mistreated. You're always taking breadcrumbs. You're always taking way low than your potential because you're worried about what they are gonna say, how they are gonna respond. You have no control over that. Stand up for yourself. Stand in your truth. Whatever they say is none of your business. Worrying about what they say is not gonna help the situation, and you should not stand in your truth depending on, because this is how they might respond. You are who you are. You represent your qualities, you represent your character, you represent the person you are. Who you are should not be dependent on how the other person will respond or should respond. Yeah, am I making sense? Not letting other people, outsiders, and other responses tell us who we need to be. Be who you are. They will respond according to who they are. Yeah? And people, let me say this, people treat you according to how they feel about themselves. Yeah? There's no one who loves themselves. There's no one who respects themselves. There's no one who is kind to themselves, who will be so unkind to you, who will be so ruthless with you. No one. The people who will be mean to you and ruthless and want to show you have no place in this world is people who feel also they have no place. Is people who are trying to pull you down, thinking they'll feel better about themselves. And you know why they're pulling you down? Because they're already down. So they are. So sometimes when people react in ways, probably, let me say this, probably the reason you have that fear is because earlier in your childhood or in your past relationships, in your past life, in your past job, maybe you spoke your mind and you were shut down, or you were belittled, or nobody listened to you, or nobody reacted to you. Their reaction has nothing to do with who you are. That is who they are. They are mean, they are miserable, they are just unkind people. It has no tie to who you are. People are not just, you cannot be at you're mean to this one, but you're kind to this one. That's not possible. And you cannot keep that act for long. If you're kind, you're just kind. So if they treated you badly, it is how they feel about themselves. It has nothing to do with you. So don't connect yourself to that bad treatment. Just treat your people with kindness. When you want to ask for something, ask for it with respect in a mature way. We spoke about emotional maturity. I hope you've watched that video. My videos about emotional maturity. So long as you're standing emotional maturity, so long as you're standing in your truth, so long as you're responsible, you're mature, you're asking things that are also reasonable, don't worry about their reaction. If they react in a mean, whatever way, and there are people who you don't really need in your life, you just cut them off. If you are working in an environment where you cannot even ask for anything from your boss because they will start shouting at you and all those mean things, you can always leave a toxic work environment. And the way people treat you has nothing to do with you. It's just who they are. It's just how they feel about themselves. Because someone can tell you no without being unkind. You can go ask for a pay rise at work. And the boss, in some cases, can tell you, Modoni, I really see what you've done, but at this point, we are not able to give you a pay rise. At this point, we are not able because maybe we are carrying losses, or because we are waiting for the next quarter to do this and this and this. Or, Modoni, I appreciate what you've done, but we are not able to give you a promotion. Full stop. That is not the same as someone who starts asking you if you think you're special. Kwani, who are you? So you need to earn more than the directors. There are those people who will really belittle you and treat you like trash. Anyway, I want to end this video here. Focus, stand in your truth, and know you can just control yourself. And if they're mean to you, it's not you, it's them. Yeah, so long as you've been respectful, you can always cut them off. Yeah, and you can always come back to your happy place, your happy self. Anyway, bye guys. I wish you a wonderful time.